Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We will start.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption. Trauma to the lens. Trauma to the lens. There may be osseous ring, concussion cataract. There may be subluxation of the lens. There may be dislocation of the lens. That dislocation may be the anterior chamber. That dislocation may be the posterior chamber. And sometimes that dislocation may be subconjunctival space, that is Hakushi. Changes in the vitreous, liquefaction of the vitreous, there may be detachment of the vitreous, there may be the vitreous hemorrhages, there may be the vitreous herniation. Inside the anterior chamber, due to subluxation and dislocation of the lens. All these are the catastrophe going on in cases of vitreous. In changes in the choroid, there may be the rupture of the choroid, there may be choroidal hemorrhages, there may be choroidal detachment, there may be traumatic choroiditis. Changes in the retina, commotio retinae, that is known as Burling's edema. It is of common occurrence following a blow of the eye. It manifests as milky white cloudiness involving a considerable area of the posterior pole with a cherry red spot. 3 words in the injury of the retina, that is commotio retinae, that is known as Burling's edema, that is cherry red spot. All three words is very important for MCQ purposes. Commotio retinae means Burling's edema, there may be cherry red spot. It may disappear after some days or may be followed by pigmentary changes. There may be retinal detachment, there may be retinal hemorrhages, intraocular pressures, changes in closed globe, traumatic glaucoma, there may be traumatic hypotony, there may be, and traumatic changes in the refraction. There may be changes to myopia, there may be hypermetropia. All these are the changes we found in closed globe injury. In closed globe injury, in such a way, we have found the changes in the eyeball like that. In the lens, there is osseous ring, traumatic cataract, there is subluxation, dislocation, and phacocyl. Changes in the irises, miosis, mydriasis, hyphema, iris tear, iridodialysis, antiflexion, retroflexion, and traumatic aniridia. Changes in the ciliary body, aspasm, the accommodation, and cyclodialysis. In cases of choroid, rupture, hemorrhages, and detachment. In cases of retina, macular edema, that is Burling's edema, macular degeneration, there may be tear, there may be detachment, there may be proliferative retinopathy or vitreous hemorrhages. All these are the changes in the ocular organs in cases of concussion injury or closed globe injury. Now we have to shift over the open globe injury. In cases of open globe injury, globe is ruptured. There may be globe laceration or there may be the globe rupture. Globe rupture in full thickness wound of the eyeball. There may be sclera, cornea, or both, caused by blunt trauma. Globe laceration. There may be the laceration of the full thickness of the wound due to penetrating injury, due to perforating injury, due to intraocular foreign bodies. In penetrating and perforating injury, penetrating means there is only wound of entry, but in cases of perforating, There may be wound of entry and wound of the exit. Both are present. Mode of injury, there may be trauma by sharp and pointed instrument like needles, like knives, like nails, like arrows, like screwdriver, pens, pencil, compass, glass piece, or anyone. Trauma by foreign bodies traveling at very speed, high momentum. Bullet injury or iron foreign bodies in lathe workers. Mechanism of damage, the mechanical effect of trauma, the damage due to the mechanical effect, the damage due to introduction of infection. If the particle is infected, there may be infection. There may be sloughing of the cornea, purulent iridocyclitis, endophthalmitis, and panophthalmitis. There may be post-traumatic iridocyclitis, traumatic lesion with management, wounds of the conjunctiva, common usually associated with subconjunctival hemorrhage. A wound more than 3 millimeters should be sutured. Wound of cornea, there may be uncomplicated corneal wounds and complicated corneal wounds. If there is total tear, laceration of the cornea, it needed first repair of the cornea. First, if there is any changes in the anatomy, our motto is first to secure the anatomy of the globe. If there is corneal tear, we have to repair. If we have scleral tear, we have to repair. If we have corneoscleral tear, both should be repaired. In such cases, ultimately, we have to maintain the size and shape of the globe. Suturing is must. Wounds of the lesion, there may be extensive lens rupture. There may be rupture of the anterior capsule. The lens proteins comes inside the anterior chamber, and there is a phacoanaphylactic glaucoma. In such cases, we have to go through the steroid. Later, if cataract is more developed, you have to go through the surgery, cataract surgery. Intraocular foreign bodies. One thing I want to say, injury may be simple, it may be grievous. Grievous injury means in 320 IPC, any loss of organ, it goes to grievous injury, that is 320 IPC. In cases of criminal cases in our court, if anyone hit anyone and there may be the loss of the eyeball, permanent loss of an organ, that is 320 IPC, that is criminal offense, and that is grievous injury. Intraocular foreign bodies, common foreign bodies are chips of the iron or steel, particles of the glass, stone, lead pellets, copper. All these are the foreign bodies. Intraocular. Modes of damage and lesions. There may be mechanical effect due to the foreign bodies. There may be introduction of the infection. There may be reaction of the foreign bodies. There may be post-traumatic iridocyclitis. There may be sympathetic ophthalmitis. All these are the modes of damage of the lesions. Ultimately, if foreign body is inert, there may be no reaction. But if it infected, it causes infection. In spite of all, there may be two types of foreign body. One can be removed from the magnet, another is non-magnetic. In cases of magnetic, it may be removed from the magnet. Foreign body, if in the cornea, it may go from the pupil and iris. From sclera, it goes to the choroid and retina. From iris, it may go to the lens and zonules. Ultimately, it goes in the vitreous cavity. In the vitreous cavity, it may be removed by the pars plana route through the magnet. If it is in the anterior chamber or posterior chamber, it may be removed. At any cost, if foreign body is infected or reactive, we have to remove this. Both, if there is a metallic foreign body, and it is iron. That is causes cyanosis bulbi. Cyanosis bulbi is mechanism of cyanosis bulbi. The iron particles undergo electrolytic dissociation of the current of rest, and its iron are disseminated throughout the globe. If iron particle is goes inside this, electrolytic dissociation of occur. These iron combines with the intraocular protein and produces degenerative changes. Here, point to be noted is there is electrolytic dissociation of the iron. Second is it combines with the intracellular proteins and produces degenerative changes. In this process, the epithelial structure of the eye are mostly affected. Clinical manifestation. Anterior epithelial and capsule of the lens are involved. First of all, the rusty deposits are arranged radially in a ring. The lens becomes cataractous. Iris. It is first stained greenish and later turns reddish brown. Heterochromia of the iris. Retina develops pigmentary degeneration, which resembles retinitis pigmentosa. Secondary and open glaucoma occurs due to degenerative changes in the intraocular network. Another one is chalcosis. Chalcosis is due to C from calcium, and cyanosis bulbi is due to iron. Most commonly it is asked. In chalcosis, it refers to the specific changes produced by alloy of the carbon of the eye. Mechanism of chalcosis. Copper ions from the alloy are dissociated electrolytically and deposited under the membrane structure of the eye. Unlike iron, these do not enter into the chemical combination with the protein of the cell and thus produces no degenerative changes. Mechanism of chalcosis. Both are electrically and it is deposited under the membranous structure of the. But iron is deposited proteins of the cells. Clinical feature in chalcosis. Chalcosis started from C, it is due to copper. KF ring. It is a golden brown ring which occurs due to deposition of copper under peripheral parts of the descendant membrane of the cornea. It is always asked, what is KF ring? Another one is sunflower cataract. It is produced by deposition of copper under the posterior capsule of the lens. It is brilliant golden green in color, arranged like a petals of the sunflower. Retina. It may be so deposition of golden plaques at the posterior pole. Reactions of organic foreign bodies. There may be some organic. All these are the inorganic one, but there may be some organic. Inorganic means some living, either caterpillar hairs or any foreign body that may go inside the eye. That is ophthalmia nodosa. It caterpillar hair is going inside the eye. It known as ophthalmia nodosa. This is characterized by severe granulomatous cytocyclitis with nodule formation. All these are the intraocular foreign bodies in open globe injury, that is, and management of retained intraocular foreign bodies that may be diagnosed by either simple X-ray, by either CT scan or MRI. If it is metallic, then MRI is not used. If in all cases CT scan is mandatory, we can also delineate with the X-ray. In X-ray, there is a marker, that is limbal ring. Limbal ring is a metallic marker that may be cast in the X-ray. If it is the foreign body inside the eye, if you take the X-ray, we can't say where the position of the foreign body is exactly. Either it is in the anterior chamber or posterior chamber or inside the vitreous. So there is some marker. That marker is limbal ring. A metallic ring is stitched over the limbus at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. An X-ray is taken from anteroposteriorly. It may be taken from the lateral from the lateral, it shows the foreign body may be anterior to the limbus or posterior to the limbus. And due to anterior posterior, it gives the, it is inside the ocular or outside the ocular. It may be conjunctiva, maybe orbits. All these are the process of delineation. For the CT scan, we can also visualize the foreign bodies. And treatment is, it is removed. If it is magnetic, it is removed from the handheld magnets through the pars plana route. All these are the managements and treatments of the intraocular foreign bodies. Another one is extraocular lesions. Lesions beyond our coats or cornea or sclera. That is due to the blunt trauma or due to the sharp trauma. There may be conjunctival hemorrhages and chemosis and laceration of the wound. There may be panda sign. If both the eye is traumatized by blunt, there may be ecchymosis. Ecchymosis means what? Blackening of the eye. If both the eye is blackening, it looks and told that panda sign. Okay. There may be eyelid lesions. Eyelid may be simple abrasion or may be cut. In all the cases, we have to suture it. Eyelids injured, that may be ecchymosis, panda sign there may be, or there may be cut injury. If it is panda sign, only blackening due to deposition of blood clot, it may be treated, it may be resolved. But if there is tear of the eyelids, then it is repaired. Lacrimal apparatus lesion. There may be dislocation of the lacrimal gland. There may be the laceration of the lacrimal passage. If injury is medial side of the eyeball, lids is injured. If there is puncta, canaliculi, common canaliculi, lacrimal sac, if it is injured, any in their pathway, there may be the obstruction of the flow. In such cases, tearing, epiphora is occur. Optic nerve injury, they are commonly associated with fracture of the base of the skull. There is traumatic optic neuropathy, orbital injury. There is commonest being the blowout fracture. Blowout fracture is of the orbital floor. It is MCQ and commonly asked. What is the blowout fracture? The blowout fracture is nothing but the fracture of the orbital floor. Orbital hemorrhage may produce sudden proptosis. There may be orbital hemorrhages. Due to orbital hemorrhages, it pushes the eyeball entirely, and that is sudden proptosis. Orbital emphysema, if there is broken or fracture of the bone are connected with the paranasal sinuses. Sinuses having the air goes in the orbital area, that extraorbital region areas, that is crepitus filling, that is emphysema. And another and very interesting is sympathetic ophthalmitis. It is most commonly asked and it is very interesting. In cases of sympathetic ophthalmitis, one thing is noted. What is sympathetic? Sympathy. One eye injured. Due to injury of that eye, the fellow eye is going to be diseased. That is sympathetic ophthalmitis. जैसे आप किसी के शादी में जाते हैं, विदाई के समय एक आदमी दुल्हन रोती है, उसके साथ सब रोने लगते हैं. That is sympathetic lacrimation. Like that here is sympathetic ophthalmitis. Sympathetic ophthalmitis is always in the fellow eye. Just go through the sympathetic ophthalmitis. Sympathetic ophthalmitis is serious bilateral granulomatous panuveitis, which follow a Penetrating ocular trauma. It is due to penetrating, not due to concussion, not due to blunt. It is due to penetrating ocular trauma. The injured eye is called exciting eye, and the fellow eye also develop uveitis, that is sympathizing eye. Sympathetic ophthalmitis can occur following an intraocular foreign body also, very rarely. Incidence, it is mostly due to penetrating injury. Predisposing factor, wounds in the ciliary region, so-called dangerous zone, highly vascular. Wound with incarceration of iris, ciliary body and lens capsule. It is most common in children, in adults. It doesn't occur when actual suppuration develops in the injured eye. It is a reaction. Pathogenesis. Various theories have been put forward. Most accepted on is allergic theory, which postulates that the uveal pigments acts as an allergen and excites the plastic uveitis in the sound eye, fellow eye, yes, sympathizing. Allergic theory is most dominant. It postulates the uveal pigments acts as an allergen. In the traumatic eye, uveal tissue is exposed to the blood circulation, and it is acts as an allergen, and it causes the plastic uveitis in the sympathizing eye. Pathogenesis, nodular aggregation of lymphocytes, plasma cells, all this. Dull and Fuchs nodules are formed due to proliferation of pigments epithelium associated with invasion of lymphocytes and epithelial cells. Sympathetic perivasculitis. Main thing is that is always asked. Dull and Fuchs nodules found in iris, ciliary body and choroid, pigmentary epithelium. Clinical feature. Exciting or injured eye is always clinically feature of persistent low-grade plastic uveitis, which include ciliary congestion, lacrimation, tenderness. Keratin precipitate may present in the back of the cornea, that is danger sign. KP is produced in the cornea, in the endothelial site, that is the dangerous site. It may signals that there may be sympathetic ophthalmitis in the fellow eye. Sympathizing or sound eye, it is usually involved after 4 to 8 weeks of injury in the other eye. Earliest reported case is 9 days injury. Most of the cases occur in the first year. Delayed and very late cases are also reported. Sympathetic ophthalmitis almost always manifest as acute plastic iridocyclitis. Rarely it may be manifest as neuroretinitis or choroiditis. Clinical feature of iridocyclitis is sympathizing eyes can be divided into two changes. Prodromal changes, symptom, sensitivity to light, photophobia. Shine in the earliest symptom is weakness of accommodation. Shine in these stages, the first sign may be presence of retrolental flare. Very interesting. Retrolental. Behind the lens, behind the posterior capsule of the lens, there is retrolental flare and cells of the presence of few keratin precipitate on back of the cornea. Other sign includes mild ciliary congestion, slight tenderness of the globe, fine vitreous haze, and edema. In such a way, there is deposition may be in the endothelial side of the cornea. There may be deposition behind the lens. In all these cases, in behind the lens is retrolental flare, in behind the cornea is capes. Treatment is prophylaxis. First, early excision of the injured eye. Treatment and sympathetic has been already supervened. Early excision, enucleation of the traumatic eye is the main treatment. Non-mechanical injury. All these I have go through all these are the mechanical injury like extraocular foreign body, closed globe injury, open globe injury, extraocular injuries, and sympathetic ophthalmitis. As smaller thing is that is non-mechanical injury. In non-mechanical injury, we have already told you there is mechanical injury, there may be thermal injury, electrical injury, and radiational injury. In cases of chemical injury, there may be alkali bond and acid bond. Alkali and acid. Alkali bond is more dangerous than the acid bond because acid bond makes a forms a develops a impervious layer. That's why acid not go more deeper, but in cases of alkali, there is saponification. That is going more deep and penetrate more deeper. In such a way, alkali bond is more dangerous than the acid bond. Another is how it occurs. Alkali, lime, caustic potash, and caustic soda, liquid ammonia. All are the harmful one. Alkali dissociates and saponify the fatty acids of the cell membrane and destroy the structure of the cell membrane of the tissue. It is hygroscopic. They extract water from the cells, a factor which contribute to the total necrosis of the cell. They combine with lipids of the cell to form soluble compound, which produces condition of softening and gelatinization. That's why it go more deep and more deep. But in cases of acid bond, strong acid causes instant coagulation of all the protein when they act as a barrier and they prevent the deeper penetration of the acid. In this way, alkali bond is more dangerous than the acid bond. There is some gradings of the chemical bonds and there is treatment according to the gradings. A table is given in your book and go through the table. There is one is Roper Hall classifications, grades of chemical bonds. In cases, grade 1, clear cornea, limbal ischemia no, visual prognosis excellent. Grade 2, hazy but iris details visible. Less than 1/3 of the limbal ischemia, prognosis may be good. Third one is opaque cornea, iris detail obscure. Limbal ischemia 1/3 to half, doubtful and guarded prognosis. Fourth is opaque, no view of the iris and pupil. From the cornea, we have no view, totally involvement of the cornea. More than 1/2 of the limbal ischemia, very poor prognosis. These are the grading. Another grading is given is Duage classification. To go through both the tables, you may go and learn more detail about that. Treatment is management of the agents. First, we thoroughly irrigate the ocular surface to remove the remnants of the acid or alkali, and we use tear substitute. In some cases, there may be grafting may occur. Conjunctival grafting may done, limb grafting is done, and there may be placental, and there are a lot of treatment given in your book. You go through the cases. Autologous serum may use sodium citrate, doxycyclines, ascorbic acids. All these are the treatment, and topical antibiotics, steroids may be given to reduce the inflammation. Cycloplegic atropine is given. There is a battery of treatment, and treatment also of the complications. There may be, if those surfaces, both the surfaces is raw, there may be attachment of the surfaces. In such a way, there may be attachment of the lead to the globe, that is symblepharon, that may occur. Management of this occur. Treatment of the complication. There may be secondary glaucoma, poor corneal healing, there may be pseudoterism, symblepharons, all corneal opacity, all are needed according to their problems. There is thermal injury. In thermal injuries are usually caused by fire, hot fluids. The main brunt of such injury lies on the lids. Conjunctiva and cornea may be affected in severe cases. Treatment of burns of the lid is on general lines. When cornea is affected, it should be treated with atropine, steroid, antibiotics, and lubricants. If there is thermal burn, there is management according to the severity. electrical injury. The passage of the strong electric current from the area of eyes. There may be conjunctivitis, there may be cornea develop diffuse interstitial opacities, there may be iris and ciliary body inflammation. Lens may be developed electric cataract. Retina may develop multiple hemorrhages. Optic nerve may develop neuritis. Extraocular muscle may develop palsies, leading to diplopia. Some radiational injuries. UV lights causes photoophthalmia. Infrared causes macular burn. So solar eclipse we can't see. We never want to see because it may causes the macular burn or solar macular burns, solar retinopathy. Ionizing radiation. This is caused by the following radiotherapy. Tumors in the vicinity of the eyeball. There may be radiational keratoconjunctivitis. There may be radiational dermatitis of the lid. There may be radiational cataract. There may be radiational retinopathy. All these are the injuries of the eye. In nutshell, we have learned about the ocular injury as mechanical ocular injury and non-mechanical ocular injury. In non-mechanical, there is mechanical, is chemical injury, thermal injury, electrical injury, radiation. In chemical, alkali and acid. Alkali injury is more dangerous than the acid. In mechanical ocular injury, that is a new ocular trauma terminology system in the world proposed by Burlington Eye Trauma Terminology BET and adopted by the American Ocular Trauma Society. In this case, the mechanical injury is classified that we have go through that closed glove injury, open glove injury, extraocular foreign bodies, extraocular injuries, and sympathetic ophthalmitis. In thus, we have learned about the ocular injuries, and shortly we have go through the some MCQ and questions. All can occur due to blunt trauma of the eye, except there may be Burling's edema really in the retina. There may be angle recession, right? There may be Rossetti cataract, right? Sympathetic ophthalmitis, no. Sympathetic ophthalmitis may occur due to penetrating injury. Answer is C. Osseous ring is seen in the cornea. Anterior capsule of the lens, osseous is seen in the cornea, no. Anterior capsule of the lens or posterior capsule of the lens or iris in the anterior capsule of the lens. Answer is B. Secondary glaucoma associated with angle recession is seen in concussion injury, not in the radiation, not in the chemical, not in the penetrating. Commotio retini affects which part of the retina? Commotio retini affects the posterior pole, that is Burling's edema. Cherry red spot after trauma is seen due to Burling's edema. Decepted pupil is seen in due to iodialysis. Decepted pupil is iodialysis. Sympathetic ophthalmitis. Dangerous area of the eye is ciliary body. Because due to involvement of ciliary body, there may be sympathetic ophthalmitis in the fellow eye. True about sympathetic ophthalmitis is dull and fixed nodules are seen, right? It is bilateral, no. Pattern ciliary, no. It is caused by due to corneal injury, no. Dull and fixed nodules are seen, right? Sympathetic ophthalmitis is result due to penetrating injury of the ciliary body, uveitis, glaucoma and trachoma, due to the penetrating injury of the ciliary body. Most common return foreign body intraocular is iron. Inert foreign body in the eye is gold, titanium and platinum. All these are